Today is Tuesday, June 14th, 2022, and we have an important update on the 2022 United States Senate election in Alabama. Donald Trump announcing that he is endorsing Katie Britt to be the next United States Senator from the state of Alabama. Donald Trump had previously criticized Katie Britt when he endorsed Mo Brooks, who's a current House of Representatives congressman, and who Trump had initially supported, but from whom he rescinded his endorsement and then decided not to choose a particular side. Now here he is endorsing Katie Britt in the Alabama Republican Senate race. Katie Britt now very much so favored to win the runoff election, which I believe, yes, is on June 21st. And if she wins that primary, she is essentially guaranteed to become the next United States Senator from Alabama. So it's the first woman, the first female U.S. Senator from the state of Alabama. So let's talk a little bit more about this. Mo Brooks. Donald Trump had initially endorsed Mo Brooks way back in 2021. Mo Brooks started off with a pretty significant lead in opinion polling. You can see here in May of 2021. Mo Brooks, on average, with almost 60% of the support of the Republican electorate, but he continued to lose and lose support, for which Donald Trump became critical of him. And ultimately, Mo Brooks' inability to really organize a successful campaign is what led Donald Trump to rescind that endorsement. Donald Trump was also very critical of what he perceived as Mo Brooks' insufficient support for Trumpism and for overturning the results of the 2020 United States election. Katie Britt, however, contrarily to Brooks, she has said that she is a staunch supporter of election integrity. She made that one of the key points in her election launch video. Donald Trump now endorsing Katie Britt. You can see here in the opinion polling, Britt started off in single digits back in May of 2021. She's now with the plurality of the Republican electorate, and I'd expect that lead to grow now that she's received this endorsement from Donald Trump, and also given the fact that some of these other candidates here, like Durant, are no longer in the contest after they lost in the May 24th primary. Here are the results from that May 24th primary. Was an early indicator of where Alabama Republicans want to place their vote and who they want to be their next U.S. Senator. Katie Britt did incredibly well, garnering almost 45% of the vote, nearly 50%. She nearly avoided a runoff against Mo Brooks. Mo Brooks sitting at 29%. Really a very poor performance from him. He got into this race very early, had a strong endorsement from Donald Trump. He had a very good start, and he lost it. He didn't run a great campaign, and he's now suffering the consequences for it. Katie Britt very much so favored to win that June 21st runoff. Even if you look at the map here of Alabama, Katie Britt running the totals and winning in almost every single county in the state of Alabama. She's running up in the population centers like Mobile, Montgomery, Tuscaloosa, and Birmingham, but she's also running up the totals in all of the rural counties in Alabama. Mo Brooks winning in just 5 counties, and really not winning convincingly in them either, winning by just maybe 100 or so votes, a percentage point or 2 at most. A very poor performance from Mo Brooks, and a sign that he's really not going to win this June 21st primary. He is the underdog in that race. Mo Brooks did make some comments after Donald Trump announced his endorsement. He said, "This is weird," essentially trying to emphasize the fact that when Trump endorsed Brooks, he criticized Britt as someone that was not qualified, as someone that was not competent enough to be the U.S. Senator from Alabama. And now here he is contradicting himself and endorsing Katie Britt. Mo Brooks sort of makes the fact that Trump has endorsed the likes of Romney, McCain, and such, and that for his endorsement of Katie Britt is a sign that he is endorsing someone that is the wrong-handed and again, and that will betray Trumpism. He is even going so far as to invoke Don Jr., who called Katie Britt Alabama's Liz Cheney, and sort of makes his last pitch appeal that the people of Alabama will decide on June 21st who their next U.S. Senator from Alabama will be. Ultimately, though, I don't think that this is going to have much of a significant effect on the race. Mo Brooks sort of looks to be done and out. If we look at the most recent opinion polling, we can see here from McLaughlin and Associates from May 2022, Katie Britt leading Mo Brooks by 12 points. And you have to consider as well the fact that Mike Durant is concluded in those polls. Mike Durant no longer a candidate after that primary on May 24th. We think that Katie Britt, her lead certainly going to increase after this Trump endorsement. The Politico article also noted that Trump's endorsement came after some new polls were released showing Britt with a double-digit lead over Mo Brooks, and you'd only imagine that that lead will continue to grow rather, after this endorsement. So that is the most significant update from the state of Alabama from its U.S. Senate race here in 2022. Katie Britt very much so favored to become the next Republican nominee for U.S. Senator from Alabama, and ultimately the next U.S. Senator from the state of Alabama, the first woman to hold that office.